Hello. Is it audible now? Okay. Okay, fine. Thank you. I didn't see actually. Okay, so we will be talking about enumeration. So I'll repeat, no problem. Thank you all. So enumeration is nothing but it is a user defined data type. So you can use in a simple term enumeration as enum. Okay, so why do we use this enum is generally whenever you want to give a naming convention to your integral constants. Okay, it is used to give or it is used to assign names for integral constants whenever you have a sequence. Like for example, you take your calendar. So in a calendar, you know, you'll be having different months, right? So we know that they are constant. Like you refer January as one, this February as two, and December as 12, right? Whenever you have some integral constants which are in sequence form, that is their constant value never changes. We know that the month of January is always treated as one. It cannot be changed by us, right? So whenever you have such enumerators, whenever you have some integral constants, in order to make them familiarize or in order to make the actions very easy or in order to make use of them easy to understand, we can assign the names for your constants. In order to do that, we use this enum. So here I'm writing the syntax. If you observe here, okay, if you observe this line, enum is my keyword here. Okay, I'll write in the bracket. This is a keyword. Enum is a keyword followed by enum variable, and you will be having in the flower braces you have to define something called as enumerators. What are enumerators means? They are called as integral constant separator. Okay, they are integral constants which are separated by commas. Suppose if you have n number of enum constants to be defined, or if you have n number of enumerators to be defined, they can be enclosed in between flower bases which are separated by comma. Now for this example, you can take it as enum days of a week. We know that we have days from Sunday to Saturday, right? And you have a constant value. So Sunday can be referred as 0, Monday is 1, and so on up to. So like you can also create instantation for your class. Like you people know what is an instance. Okay, whenever you want to have, when you create some object, it is acting as instance for your class, right? So now if you observe here, line number here, whichever the statement which I'm going to highlight, if you see enum days of a week followed by day. Now day is acting as object of enumerated class by name called as days of a week. Okay, day is acting as object for your enum days of a week. Okay, so this is your basic introduction of your enum. So if they ask you what is enum, first you have to say it is also called as enumeration. In simple terms, we use a keyword called as enum, which comes under the category of user defined data type in C. Basically or majorly, enum is used to assign the names for your integral constants. Why we go for assigning names for integral constants is it makes a program easy to read and maintain. So whenever you know that the constant is fixed, then it's better to have an integral constant. Okay, so this is the basic example. Now after you create your instance, you can also, now after you create this object day, you can assign the value, like you can write here day is equals to Wednesday. This is very similar. Day will be having a value called as Wednesday. This is nothing but which is a state. Okay, you are defining it as a state of an object. Now by default, if I initialize, if you see this line, enum days of a week like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, by default if I don't assign any constant for that, by default your program will be initialized with 0. It starts initializing the constants for the naming conventions which you have defined, which starts from 0. Now for example, I'll just show you how it comes. Just a second, I'll just show you a simple example which you can write it as an example if enum is asked for. Okay, so a very simple example you can write like has include Sunday, right, Monday, Tuesday, okay, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, Sunday, and you can write I'm writing in a week. Now here day is an object which is acting for, it is acting as an object for day is object. I'm writing here day is object for enum week. Okay, this is the way how do you define. Now here you can write, as I mentioned, instance day is equals to Wednesday. Now I need to create an instance for that in order to print them. Okay, now by default it should print the integral constant value for the naming convention which we have given. Percentile D, comma day. Okay, so by default I said you will be having your naming, if you don't define integral constant, it by default it starts from 0. So Monday is taken as 0, Tuesday is taken as 1, and Wednesday is taken as 2. So your expected output will be 2. So hope you can see the output. So you'll be getting the resultant value as 2. Now suppose if you want to define your integral constant, you don't want it to start from 0 or something. Okay, if you don't want to start it from 0 or something, then how can we do that is your question. So I'll simply write I can write here. So if I write here Monday is equals to 1, automatically the next Tuesday will be considered as 2, Wednesday equals to 3. Okay. So hope you can see. Everyone are able to see the output? Yes. So if you start your name, it's your choice. See, if I give here as something as 1, it's my choice. I can also change my constant in midway. I'll give it as 4. Now if I try to print, let's print one variable. If I try to print Friday, what happens? We'll see. Now you see here, first Monday is 1, Tuesday will be given as 2. Now Wednesday is initialized with 4, so Thursday will be taken as 5 and Friday will be taken as 6. Okay, if I do this, I can change like this in between also. So if I want to give Friday is equals to 1, so if I try to print Saturday, it prints 2 now. So we'll see here how does it happens. You can let's print Sunday otherwise. So it should print me 3. So can you see everyone? It is printing me Sunday as 3. Okay, so it's your choice. If I don't define anything, like for example, if I don't define Wednesday as 4, and if I don't define Friday as 1, it will print Sunday as 7. Okay, so this is about your basic thing of your enum. Okay, that is how this happens. Someone has some doubt? Okay, so let's state how to print everything. So how will print all? Okay. You can start using your loop and print. I can write here, let me take instead of this, I will write here int I. Okay, and I'll write for loop for I starts from January, I less than equals, sorry, not January, I'm talking about this, right? Monday, I less than or equals to Sunday, I plus plus. Okay, then I can write printf percentile D space comma I. So I should get all integral constants 1, 2, 3, 4. Why I'm getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? Because I have taken Monday as 1. Suppose if I don't give it starts from 0. So you can see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, suppose if I'll change, in between I'll change some value as 8. So you can see here, one, okay, 1 second. First it is printing and again it is starting, right? This loop will change again. Okay, I'll just not print here. I'll print only till Friday. Oh, still it's working like that. So it will print till Friday, again it is going, right? Okay. So 0, 1, 2, it's coming. Then let me give it as Thursday. Let me check whether it is modifying or not. So I'm getting the entire loop. Why so? Okay, automatically it is changing because it is 8 the loop value, no? So it is taking like that. Okay. We'll print like this. Will not do here. It won't work in loop, no? Fine. So as it is a loop, so that effect is not being shown. So now this is the way how your enum is going to work. So one more thing you have to remember in enum is you cannot use the same naming convention for the next one. Okay, that is nothing but, for example, let me give you, I can't write enum something day followed by Monday, comma January. If I do this, okay, it should throw me an error actually, according to my knowledge. Yes, you can see it is showing you an error in line number 3 because if you see the error, it is saying you already have a previous definition of Monday which was before the token. So at a time you cannot use the same naming convention. Okay, I can change here. I can write here February or something, that is allowed. But I cannot use the same naming convention for the integral constants. Everyone understood enum? Anyone want me to repeat? Shall we go with the next concept? Error is not because of that. Error is not because of that actually. See, at a time in the same program, you people know that same name cannot be given. So even your enum will not allow you to use the same naming convention for your integral constants. Okay. Anyone has any other doubt? Otherwise, I'll go with the next concept. Okay, this is about your enum. Okay, so let's talk. So we are done with structures almost. So let's have your next concept, that is nothing but files. So this is the thing which you have to explain in your theoretical part if it is asked for about enum. So once again, I'm repeating what points you have to write. Enum is nothing but it is an enumeration. It can also be called as, okay. So always enum is majorly used or mainly used to assign names to your integral constants. Why we use names? Because any name make a program easy to read and maintain. Of course, it is not unique, but your naming convention makes any program to read and maintain. Now, the syntax you will be writing enum, which is acting as a keyword, enum variable, which is acting as enumerators, and followed by enumerators and nothing but you call them as integral constants, and they are assigned or they are initialized like with the help of your separator, that is nothing but comma operator. So you'll write the example for this syntax. This is your example for your syntax. Then if they ask you the program you're going to write, anyhow they ask you to write about this only. Read the naming conventions for your days or months or months in an year. Okay, so months in a year means you will start taking it from January, February, and the same thing you are going to do. And then you are going to write a simple program which explains you the enum context. Okay, so someone has some doubt. Let me check that first. Okay, fine. I have shared, I think, almost every unit. Anyhow, I'll share it. No problem. Uh, so so let me talk about the next concept, that is nothing but files. So we also have files, preprocessors, and command line arguments. Okay, these three will complete. So file. So first of all, understand what is a file.
Kept on
Okay.
my desktop.
So files
But,
are
it is
nothing but in a C program. Generally, why do we go for using of files? Is nothing but whenever you have a large amount of data to be maintained. Whenever you want more, see, we all know that your most of your programs are written to store your information. Okay, that is nothing but you write some set of instructions in order to process your activities, or in order to process your instruction set which has been designed. So why do we need a file? Basically is we need files so that your data is maintained somewhere. Okay, so how, what are the different operations, like how do you do your operations on your data? We can also have different operations that can be applied on your file. Okay, so excuse me. So first you listen to the definition. I'll just write and explain. It's a file. A file is nothing but it represents a sequence of bytes. Okay. Files are nothing but a file always represents a sequence of bytes on the disk. The disk where a group of related data is stored. Okay, I can write a simple definition as like this. A file is nothing but it always represents a sequence of bytes where generally files are stored in your disk. We all know that. Okay, how you will have your disk maintained? Always we know that your disk is maintained with the help of that is all the related information you are going to store at one place. Like for example, if an organization is maintaining the data of his employees where he has many different employees, he, like as I mentioned, employee can be can be in development field, or he can be in testing field, or he can be in maintenance field. So what does your database look like? So he can't store all the information of all the employees in one single disk. Okay, what does he do is he will categorize his disk things, or he will manage his disk such that he will store the employees information who are working for development field as one file, and he will store the employees of who is working for maintenance as one file. Like for example, if your college is maintaining database, it won't maintain the history of all the students. Okay, it won't maintain the history of all 2000 students in one simple file. So what does they do? They will create a file on the disk where they categorize the files into individual modules again, like first year one module, second year, third year, final year, and again in first year they will categorize branch wise. So why this categorization or why this grouping of information should be done is so that it is easy to fetch for your future use. So that is only the reason generally we maintain some files of your original data. So how, what are the different operations? So this is the question expected. What are the different operations? So what are the different operations by which we can apply on your files? Okay, that can be performed on your files. Is the first operation, it's very simple, we call it as creation of new file. Second one, opening an existing file. What happened? Any problem? I'll just say. So files, okay. So as I told, files are nothing but it is maintaining some sequence of byte. So the most expected question is what are the different operations we perform on your file? The first one is we call it as creation of new file. The second one is opening an existing file. Next we have the third one is reading the contents from your file, that is reading a file, reading the file. Next we have the next fourth one as we also have a very good attributes in your file, like what, suppose if your cursor is at some point, we can also move your cursor position to some another location. That is nothing but you can moving to a specific location. Why do we need this moving? Because you people know, suppose if you have 100 lines of instructions, suppose you want to go to line number 10, generally you move your cursor, right? So always it is not possible when your database is more. So what can I do? I can use some methods or some attributes or some functions so that you can move to the specific location of your file. Okay, this is one operation which we do. Okay, so here we have different commands we'll see, and the last foremost important thing, that is okay, reading a file. I didn't write writing a file, right? For writing a file also, moving a file, writing a file, and the best thing which you people like is close, right? So that one, closing the file. Okay, so we have these are the different operations we perform, and different operations have different methods, or you have different commands to use them. So whenever you want to create a new file, we use a command called as fopen command. Okay, whenever you want to open an existing also, we use a command called as fopen itself. So fopen is used for both purpose. Either you can create a new file with the help of fopen command, or you can also open your existing file. Next we have reading a file. Read. You people know scanf is to read the contents and getters is also read the contents, right? Very similar. We also have a command called fscanf, or you can also use fgetters. Okay, fscanf and fgetters both are used to read the contents of your file. Similarly, instead of printf, you have the command as fprintf. And we have fputs. Okay, we have fprintf and fputf. And as I told, in order to move to a specific line, we have fseek, and you have frewind. Okay, and in order to close your file, we have fclose. Okay, these are the commands, these are the functions which are used to do your basic operations of your file. So first we'll talk about this fopen. Okay, what does fopen do? What does an fopen do? As I mentioned, fopen is to open an existing file, or it also creates a new file. Okay, how does your syntax of fopen is existing is, it takes a syntax as, so in order to create your files, we have a keyword like how you create integer variables. Similarly, whenever you want to use some files, we declare file as a keyword, and it is capital letters followed by as and one more thing, files are referred on your memory. So you should know where your file is located. For example, I have saved one image in my C drive. Okay, so I'll go to C drive and I have to open that file. So if I want to open, I should understand, your system, that is your processor, have to understand the location of that file. So whenever you are saying that something called as reference or location, we don't have there by default pointers. Okay, so for files we use star fopen, okay, followed by, the syntax is constant char star file name. Okay, it is a constant char star file name, and which mode you want to open. Constant, I'll explain what is this syntax clearly for you, don't need to worry. Char star mode. Okay, this is the basic syntax of your file. So first I'm explaining you the syntax. First, you'll write all. What is a file? File is a sequence of bytes which are stored on the disk where a group of related data is stored. Okay, we can do different operations on file, like whatever the 6 operations I told: creation of file, opening, reading, writing, moving, and closing. And you will like mention what are the methods which we use to do such operations. Now in that, we are first talking about your command, that is nothing but fopen. Fopen takes the syntax like this: file, you have to enclose it as a understand it is a keyword where you enclose it as in capital letters, followed by star fopen. Why we are using it as fopen as a pointer, or why we are doing typecasting for your file, is because file is existing somewhere in your memory. Definitely, in order to because you see, I have my platform. I'm working on this text document. I will say file open. When I say open, definitely your processor have to fetch the existing files. Means it have to know where it is residing on your memory. It needs address. That is the reason we are taking it as a pointer. Fopen followed by constant. Forget about what is constant. I'll explain you later. It is taking constant char star followed by name and mode. So here, this is your syntax. We'll understand what is this syntax now. Fopen is a function which will open a file. Either new, it will create a new file, or it opens an existing file. So fopen is used to open a new file, or it can also open an existing file. Okay, these are the two things. So now after you open this, we have different operations which we can do on your file. Operations means, like after you open, you can use the file in different modes. Okay, so there are two things that happens when you open. If your file does not exist, you can observe whenever you are searching for an image. For example, suppose you have stored it in some another drive, but you are searching it in some another drive. Suppose you have stored your image in D drive and you are searching it in C drive. Definitely your processor will see image not found. You can see that error. So this happens when your file is not existing in your disk which you are searching for. If it is found, it will open you that particular image. Am I right? It will open you the particular image. So similarly, fopen, when you do this, your file, if it is existing, it will open. Otherwise, it will simply, you can print a message like file name does not exist. Okay. So now here for this example, I'll show you how to write. Okay, how we'll write is file some pointer fp. Now I write fp is equals to fopen of, means I'm creating a pointer fp of type file. Fp is capable of opening your file. So now fopen, you will have your file name. This is very similar to your syntax, comma followed by your mode. Okay, this is your syntax. Now what is this? fp is a file pointer to the data type file. File is a data type, as I mentioned, and file name is the actual file name what you want to open. What does a mode refer to, right? Suppose you are sharing one file to your friend. When you open that file, he can have his mode of operations. Like suppose if you want to have your security on your file, you only give the permission for your file as to view it. Okay, that is nothing but only read permission. Whenever your file is given a read permission, a person cannot change the contents of the. So your file has R, you have W, you also have A. So read, write, and append. These are the basic basic attributes we have for your mode. Okay, R is to read the file, W refers to your writing the file, A is referring to the appending the contents to your file. Okay, so you can open your file either in read mode, or you can open your file in write mode, or you can open your file in a append mode. That is your choice of creation. Okay, so this is about fopen. Everyone understood what is fopen? Anyone has any doubt with that? We'll write a simple program, don't worry about that. But you understood the basic counts, rules of fopen? Yes. Anyone has any doubt? Okay, this is about your fopen. We also have fclose. Very simple. Fclose is nothing but which file pointer you have open. You have, for example, in the now you see this previous example, you have created star fp. fp is a command which is pointing to this file name. So you have to close here fclose. For fclose will take the syntax like fclose, okay, file pointer which you have created, okay, the pointer variable which you have created. So here you can take the example as f close. In the previous example we have fp, so I'll close f, so your file will be automatically closed. That is, you have to close your reference once it is done. Now we have the next one as fgetters. Okay, now as I mentioned, fgetters is nothing but fgetters is used to read line by line. Okay, we use fgetters in order to read line by line. Okay, it is acting as a read function. It reads the contents of your file line by line. Remember this. Okay, it will take the basic syntax like this. How do you declare is fget okay, we have to write nine. Okay, char star. You'll understand when we write program for this. No need to worry. In some menu, then you can write declaration. I'm showing you. Start F. This is the basic declaration of your fgetters function. In simple words, I'll tell you. You can have this example as below. Fget very simple line. You can also write it as buffer comma size comma fp. This is one more syntax of your fgetters, where buffer is nothing but buffer where you want to put your data. Okay, buffer is nothing but where you want to put your data. That is, you in fgetters, what am I doing? I will open one file. Okay, first I have to open, then only I can use the fgetters command. Fgetters command is doing what? It is reading the opened file. It is reading the contents of your open file. For example, I have opened a.c. Now, first, in order to read the contents, I need to open that file. I have opened a.c file. Now, what will I do? I will read one line content from that. If I want, I can maintain the buffer. So this buffer is nothing but where you are going to write whatever the contents which we have read. Okay, buffer to put the data. Okay. Next, size is nothing but how long, how many bytes it is. Either it is 100 bytes or 200 bytes. That is nothing but your size. It is talking about the size of your buffer. And fp is your file pointer which you have created. Okay, this is the way how we do. Now we also have fprintf. Fprintf will take a very simple syntax like, I'll directly write for you. Fprintf, you'll be having your file pointer. So file pointer. Okay, so it will directly have your file pointer. That is how do you print. Okay, whatever the data you want to print, that is been printed. Like you'll be having your file pointer to be printed. Okay, this is nothing but to write. Fprintf is to write and fgetters is to read. You will read and you will use fprintf to write the contents into that particular file. Okay, this is about your this. Now, as I mentioned, you have different modes. Like you have write mode, you have read mode, you have so many modes, right? As I mentioned, you have R, W. First, we'll see what are these R, W, and A. R is nothing but it is a read file, so it searches file. Any of this mode is used for searching a file. If file is successfully opened, what does we do is we will read the characters from that file one by one. Okay, R command is used to read the contents of file one by one. Okay, someone is asking, can you help, ma'am, how is fgetters different from fscanf? I will show you that. Yes, I'll just show you that. Okay, someone is asking, explain me buffer. See, what is this buffer is nothing but I need to read the contents, right? For which file I'm going to copy. Suppose I want to copy the contents of a.c into b.c. B dot C is becoming your buffer. Okay, B dot C file becomes buffer. Okay, if you're copying the contents from your friend notes to your notes is becoming buffer, and your friend notes is nothing but the file which you have opened. Okay, fine. Buffer, see, if I want to copy the contents into the another file, definitely I need some another memory I need some another file, right? Yes, you are moving the contents of one file to another file. Definitely we need buffer. See, a simple example, if you want to have a copy of one file, you need some buffer location, right? Temporary location where you write that data. That's all. Okay. So now you have these modes of operations as I mentioned, R, W and A. So R is read, W is to write and A is to append as I mentioned. So what does that is, you will be reading character by character. Okay. Now W is nothing but it is used to open the file exists. So there is something higher. So if you are having a write permission, the write permission, the contents are overwritten. Okay, you will overwrite the contents which are already existing if you give write permission. That is, you can modify the contents of your file. Now what does A do? A is also is nothing but it is appending the file. Okay, so when you do this, as I mentioned, if the file is successfully opened, it loads it in the memory and sets up a pointer to the last character. So A is nothing but you will set your pointer to the last character. Okay, A is nothing but it will set the pointer to the last character, and from there you can append your data. Suppose if you don't want to overwrite. Okay, so these are the modes generally we use for your files. Okay, so we'll do a simple program. So let me show you an example. Uh, just 1 minute, I'll just write the code and then explain you. Okay, I'll just first write something here. This is sample program I'm writing. Okay, I'll create one file pointer file star fp. Someone was asking me difference between fscanf and getters, right? Nothing difference actually. Getters and these things does not follow any format specifiers, that is they don't have any format specifiers. In your scanner you use format specifiers. I doesn't see much. These becomes your getters and these are unformatted IO functions, like your scanf and printf are becoming as your formatted IO functions. Okay, you can use a normal printf also. I don't say that it doesn't print. Okay. So I'll explain you line by line. It's very simple program actually. Okay, don't worry. Okay. Now let me explain you this program. So line number 4, if you observe, you are creating a file name as a string. That is your file name is more than one character. And I'm taking a character ch. Why? Because whatever the contents I have in the file, which I am going to give, okay, whatever the input file I'm going to give, I have to read the characters one by one. So in order to have the reference to this file, I'm creating a file pointer as fp. Now what does we do? We are using a getters and getc. We have two things. Getters is nothing but it is a string class. Okay, you are reading a file name as a string class, and getc is also to read the contents, but you are reading here one by one character. So getters is used to, it is acting as very similar to your scanf statement. So here you can use your scanf percentile s comma, you can write your file name. Okay, both means same. Now what should I do first? In order to you're first reading the contents, later I'm writing the contents. Okay, so in order to read the contents, I'm using fopen command. If the file name is if file name in which mode, r is talking about read mode. So this file is pointed by a file pointer, that is fp. If you see line number 5, I have created a pointer variable of type file. Sorry, it's capital. Okay, I have created a file pointer as fp. Now if fp is null, means suppose if your file does not exist on your memory, definitely it doesn't have any address. So if any variable does not have its address, means it is automatically null. If your file pointer is throwing you a null, you can simply print a message as file does not exist. Otherwise you can print, else you will print the contents of this file. Okay, so how you are reading? So you see, and what I will do is, if you observe line number 15, f get c, your file is pointed by a variable fp. So your file is referred by a pointer variable fp. So it will read the contents of your file one by one character, and it is printing on my output screen. So till what time? Till I reach end of the file. Suppose if I have 100 lines, till I reach 100 lines, I have to repeat this loop. So EOF stands for end of the file. So once your contents are read, you can close your file here. That is by using the command fclose of fp. So I'll save it like file1.c. I'll just save. So you can write enum1.c. So it is printing nothing here. Okay, it is nothing. Okay, 1 second. It should take, right? Enum1 file does not exist. Why it is not enum1.c here, right? Or else 1 second. Let me change it to I need to print the content, or else I'll do one thing. Okay, we'll do one thing. 1 second. Let me do this first. Save alt F as read. We'll see whether this is working or not. Why it is coming as read.txt. Still it's not giving. Read is existing file, right? cread.txt. Somewhere I made mistake. Let me check. 1 minute. Get as of file name. Then fp is equals to open file name from a read mode. fp is null. Just give the file does not exist. Let me close this, otherwise if fp is null, you will get the error. Otherwise, you will read the contents of the file while ch. Okay. Yes, this is the problem. While ch is equals to get c of fp is not equals to end of the file percentile c, then fc. Okay. Let me check once again. Enum.c. Why this file in enum1.c? Yeah, I got it. You can see here. So you can open the file and you are getting your expected output. So whatever, let me show you that. Let me open here once. So I have this on my in my file enum1.c hash include and this context. So if you observe the same whatever it is there, you can see here it is printing. Can you observe, everyone? Are you able to see? Okay. Someone has some doubt. Let me see what is that. Okay, this is the way how you open. ch is not assigned. What is ch is not assigned? Ch is a variable I have created, right? Okay, that's not the problem. Previously file was open, that is the reason you got the error. So if your file is open, then if your file is existing, you get the contents printed on your screen. So if you don't want to print the contents on the screen, you can also copy the contents of one file to another. Okay, you can also copy the contents of one file to another. I will show you what is the simple modification you can do. Everyone understood this program? Anyone has any doubt with this? You have seen all the types of errors, right? So we'll see how to copy the contents. And can I go for the next example? How to copy the contents of one file to another? Anyone has any doubt with this program? Let me know. I'll give you 1 minute time. Think. Can we go for the next example? So file one, here you will modify. Here you can take destination file of some size 25 letters. Okay, so after you do open of read command and everything, so file pointer, then if the file does not exist, this is another one, and you should use two pointers here, fp and star fp1. One is for which is pointing to the file, your source file, and the other ds is talking about your destination file. So now here you can also write something here. After I do this, I can write fp1 is equals to f open new file name, that is destination, which is in write mode. Okay, you are going to open that in write mode, destination comma write mode. So if this is fine, otherwise what we do, print up the contents of the file are fp1 equals, so instead of writing here, we'll get the constants until not equal. Instead of printing, instead of line number c, now what should I do? I have to copy the contents from your source file to destination file. So I will write here f put c. Put is similar to your print, where I have to print your contents are stored in the variable ch. Whatever the character you are reading into that file, that is copied into your destination. This happens from left to right. F put c, what does it do? Whatever the character you are going in line number 16, whatever the character you are going to ch or is going to come into ch, that character is copied into your destination file. Okay, whatever the destination file you are going to read there. Okay, next you have to close f close of fp as well as f close of fp1. Both files will close. Now here one more thing you forgot, we have to open a new, we opened a new file, right? That is your whatever the target file, you need to read that also. Okay, so here new file, this is for your destination file. So we'll close this. Another, okay, else without previous. Okay, I'll do one thing. I'll just don't write it. So let's see what is going to happen. No problem. Struct file. File I wrote in small letters somewhere. File star fp. File star. Write the header file also. Hash include. Your files are present in stdlib.h. Enter you want to say enum1.c. Enter new file enum2.c. Okay, we'll see, we'll open and we'll see. Open enum. You can see the file is created, but we'll see whether the file has contents or not. It's not copied, right? So somewhere some mistake. Let me check. What is this? Struct file, but arguments is of type character. In function when passing, it's of incompatible pointer type. Okay. Okay. See if target, if fp is null, file does not exist. Okay. That is fine. Then fp1 is equals to f open of your destination, and then that is fine. While ch is included, c of fp is not equal ch comma destination, f put c ch comma destination. If this is not done, ch comma destination only, no? CH is equals to F get C of, so it's not equal to end of file. This was fine. Oh, let me check line by line. I guess somewhere I missed something. Enum is created, but nothing is copied. CH file name, destination file, two pointers. Enter file you wish to open. This is also correct. Then we'll get this open a source file. Okay, we'll do one thing. This is about my source. Then I'll ask about enter my target file or destination file. Then enter new file name, get this of this destination. fp1 is equals to fp1 only, no? fp1 equal to f open destination comma right. Then while ch equal to get c of fp is not equal to uf, I'll put this target. fc only, no? ch comma destination. What about that? Okay, sorry. Here it is file pointer, no, fp1. That's the reason. Shit. Right, now you'll get enum1.c. Let's write enum3.c. Okay, the contents we can see here. Let me open enum3. I guess that program have to come. So now you can see it is copied. Instead of writing my file pointer, I wrote the destination. So this is the way you can copy the contents of one file to another. Now I can write, you see the same program. We can also, if I write, now you see, let me run this. As I told, it will be overwritten if you use write mode, right? So what is this program? File1.c, enum3.c. Okay. So now you can see, Alt F, open enum3. So the same program is reflected even in your enum. So whatever the contents you have in file 1, the same programs is reflected in the enum. Everyone have understood how to read, only read the contents and to print onto your console, and how to read the contents from one file and to copy to the contents into another file? Anyone has any doubt with this program? So you see line number 17, this is most important. This is common for every program. You will read the contents from one file till you reach end of the file. Now we are writing, right? For writing you use the command fputc. So for the destination file, who is pointing? fp1 is pointing to destination file. So each character is copied into fp1. Anyone has any doubt? Let me know, please. Anyone has any doubt, please? Okay, if not, I'll go for the next one. So this is about your basic things of your file. Then we'll talk about, okay, now let's talk about binary files. Okay, what are binary files in your C? We will talk. Okay. Okay, we'll talk about binary files in C. So you all understood what are your files and everything. So generally, I want to give here one more thing. Files can be represented in two ways, or you can have your categorization of dealing with your files in two types. One is text file, that is user readable form, and the other one is binary file. Okay, we have two types of files. Your file can be in the form of text file, or you can also have your files in the form of binary file. Usually or generally, you're always your text files with end with an extension called as .txt. Okay, you're generally the extension for any normal text file, it ends with an extension called as .txt. Okay, and what is this text file is generally, these are very easy to maintain and very easy to read, and it has a least security, and it takes more space. First of all, its reading is very easy, but okay, reading capability is very easy. It requires or it provides least security because everyone can understand the normal text file. Okay, it has a least security and also takes more storage space. Okay, and also takes more storage space. So for a normal user, for a human readable text file is very easy, but they say that they provide very less security, and they also occupy more space. Now you also have the other types of files. They are nothing but, you call it as binary files, which ends with an extension called as .bin. Okay, these files are in your computer with an extension on, and instead of having your plain text, or instead of having your like your alphabetical mode representation or alphanumerical file, it is in the form of binary form. Your bin files or binary files will be in the form of combinations of zeros and ones. Your binary files are always in the combinations of 0 and 1. What does they do? They are capable of holding a large amount of data. Compared to your text file, your binary file is capable of holding large large amount of data. Okay, they are capable of holding large amount of data. They provide high security, and they are not readable easily. And when you compare with your text file, binary file will consist of less space. Now for example, your text file is taking 100 MB. So automatically when this data is being converted or something happens, the amount of storage space also decreases when you're talking in terms of binary file. So if you ask you the differences between text file and binary file, the text file is referred with an extension .txt, and binary file is referred with an extension .bin. Always your text file is a normal English returnable or human readable form, or you can say it is combination of alphanumerical mode, and your binary file will be in the representation of zeros and ones. Text files are easy to read, but binary files are not readable. Okay, they are not easy to read. Text files provide less security, whereas your binary files will provide you more security, and this occupies more amount of space when compared with your binary file. So as we all discussed, you have different operations like creating, opening, closing, reading, and writing the information of file. Okay, on your text files, whatever we have discussed, the same operations that can also be done on your binary files. Okay, you can also have different operations on your binary files, like they only change in few parameters, like your modes of operations are different from your binary files. Like, let me write. So the modes can be, so R is for reading a text file, RB is for reading a binary file. Your mode, opening for reading in binary mode. Okay, if the file exists, it will open. Now similarly, W is for writing a text file, WB is for writing a binary file. Okay, A is for append, and AB is for adding a data into your that is the data is added to the end of the file, as I mentioned. Okay, you have r plus, okay, you have r plus command, you also have rb plus command. All this, if you will have a suffix b, where if you use your mode as rb, we understands that it is a binary file. Okay, so we can also have a writing and reading a binary file. I'll just write that simple program if you want. Shall I write a simple program to read the contents of a binary file? Okay. Only the modes representations are different. Okay, I'll just write a simple program for you. I'll change this. Okay, let that be here. What we'll do is syntax is enough, not needed to write for every program. One simple program, if you write, that is more than as you have some spaces in this file, it is not properly copied, but you can see the exe file, like bin files are these, your bin files in your C are this. So this is the thing that is being copied here. Okay, only you can change your operations, nothing much it takes. You can only have here FP instead of having R. If I'm using here RB, what is this? I didn't modify here. Sorry. That's the reason it's not copying. So whatever the convenience we have here, that has been copied here. Okay, so that's all. Okay, anyone has any more doubts? So tomorrow we'll talk about command line arguments, and the other one is preprocessor directives. That is also unexpected question. Someone is asking some doubt. Let me check. No voice. Okay, fine. I muted that time. Okay, understood everyone about your files concepts? Anyone has any other doubt? Let me know. I'll give you a couple of minutes. I'll give you 2 minutes time. If anyone has any doubt, let me know. Tomorrow we'll talk about command line arguments and preprocessor directives. And I'll also show you unformatted IO functions, simple examples to understand the difference. Everyone are clear with today's concepts? As I mentioned you, this is as I mentioned you, this is a programming subject. Even if your JNT question paper asks you to write the program or not, if they ask you any concept like explain about files and its operations, it's your responsibility to write a simple file program. Then only you will fetch the marks. Conversion of text to binary files, I didn't get you. Which one? First class, whatever I told, that one? 59F. Ah, you want conversion we don't do. We are not doing any conversion. When you compile your program, automatically your text file will be compiled to your binary file. That is your .exe file, right? Okay, that we are not doing any conversion. So only if you want to open your binary, so just I'm showing you what, how can we open a text file and how can we open a binary file. We are not nowhere concerned with converting a text file to binary file. File convert, you have different programs to convert a text file to binary file, but I'm just showing the variation between what is text file and binary file. If you're opening a text file, you open it in R mode. If it is a binary file, we open it in RB mode, read binary form, binary mode. That's all. Any another doubt? Okay, so tomorrow I'll share you the timings. Okay, so we'll talk about command line arguments, and the other one is preprocessor directives. Okay, and someone is asking about fputc, fputs, and fprintf also, right? That also. Okay, definitely. I'll tell you this when I'm talking about unformatted IO functions. That is the reason I didn't say what is put C, put S. I'll just show you one simple line. You'll understand the major difference. Okay. Thank you all. Have a nice day.